Oh, my friend, we are back. We are live. It's been a while since we romped around in the romper room, right?
Yeah, Iceberg Bricks channel. It's familiar setting. We've had some building chats.
Yeah. We got to bring it back. May 4th is coming. May the 4th be with you.
I got
We might have to
Star
bring
Wars
back.
on the brain.
Oh yeah.
I,
We might have to bring back the old show, man. We probably got to bring it back.
May the 4th. Yeah, that was the kickoff, the send off of the
It's been 2 years.
versus.
Yeah, versus would have been 2 years. 2 years, right?
Wow.
Oh, but we're not here for that. We here so we don't get fined, right? So man, like like before this Lego Master thing, before this Lego Master thing, like I was watching it like on in Australia, man, in that first season. A lot of my YouTuber friends were over there, and it's just I was watching it, man, and then all of a sudden, season 2 was rolling through, so I'm watching it, and then they roll right into that they were going to have the US over here. So man, I was my my eyes was stuck to that TV, man, when I was doing those challenges, man. Trying to yeah. So we kind of had a little bit of edge because you can expect, you can expect what was coming, but the one thing about our show and theirs is that with our show, there was like a lot of twists, like back to back twists. The twist had twists. It was just everything.
There were a lot of twists.
That would throw you off. And it was like, oh man, this is not how that challenge was going.
Will Arnett, come on.
Will Arnett.
Is he calling the shots, or like it seems like?
No.
The Australian show, maybe it just is the way they what the Australian host Hamish or whatever.
Yeah, Hamish. And you know what? Honestly, I think that Brickman is probably the head producer, one or at least one of the head producers of that show, and so I think he calls the shots. Yeah. Whereas you got Will Arnett, Jamie and Amy. Jamie and Amy really don't call the shots. It's the producers that call the shots, and Jamie and Amy, they see it out. They execute it.
Seems like, yeah, you're right. Well, I mean, you were on the show, so the U.S. show seems like there's some hidden behind the scenes producers getting celebrity appearances and stuff. Yeah. And then in Australia, it does seem like the Brickman and Hamish are like, at least they appear to be in control. And I think they joke about it a bit too.
Yeah, they joke about it a bit, but I don't, like I said, I think Hamish is like, Hamish is a huge mouthpiece, but I think that Brickman is like, he's the boss, man. I think he the one calls shots. He probably like, this is how this challenge is going to be. This is what I'm looking for. If you don't like it, then I'm out. Yeah. So that's how I see it, man. So, but man, cool. They are in season 4 now, man. 4 years of great builds, man. Oh, Agents of Mock reporting for duty. Friend, are you around, friend? You want to get in? You can get in, Troy. I know you'd be busy, but just say yes or no. Matter of fact, don't even say anything. I'm gonna send you the invite. If you in, I'm gonna just hop in here.
We're gonna talk spoilers for the first episode.
Yeah, we're spoiling the first episode just in case you didn't see it. My man Tim, he already saw it because he's on that side already. But we are spoiling the first episode of season 4, Australian Lego Masters. Yeah, let me send my friend an invite here. Yeah, man. So me and my boy Jesse, we checked it out. And what you think, Jesse? What you think? Like, does it make the grade? Does it make the grade? Like, without actually going into detail, what do you think?
So I've been watching Lego. I've been a Lego Master Australia binge watching because I learned on another channel that Tubi is free TV and some reruns are airing on Tubi. Right. And I put Tubi on my device and started watching all 3 seasons, full episodes, Australian Lego Masters. So I feel like it's really fresh in my brain. All the seasons, and now season 4 kicking off. It'll be fun to watch. And they really are dialing it up. Yeah, the
Oh yeah.
talent seems to be dialing it up too, because the week one builds that we saw are pretty amazing for the first episode.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man. That's I mean, and it's crazy. Like, is it bad for me to say, like, I'm a fan of the Australian show? Is that a bad thing to say? Like, you know what I mean? Like if I was to pick a favorite Lego Masters, it would be the Australian. Because to me, I know we got talent here. I'm not knocking. We have talent. Talent is above and beyond on the U.S. show. Like, on the Fox show, I should say, on the Fox. But I just love the style of the Australian. I just do. I mean, I love the creation. And it's I want to knock one show over the other. I'm not, but I just love it. And this is probably why I love it. Their premiere show was probably like an hour and a half long, Jesse.
They're spending more time showing us more building, more setup, more teamwork.
Right.
Moto's checking in. Hey, Moto. I guess the AU is production. It just seems like, you watch shows like Jimmy Fallon and it's his show and he's like really I'm digging in, but I'm sure he's
right.
got some writers writing jokes and writing bits and getting people on the show. So it's interesting.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I don't know, man. And it's like, when I was looking at season 2 Lego Masters on Fox, I was thinking like, man, like, what challenges is coming up next? And let me tell you, I was envy of season 2, Fox Lego Masters. I was envy because, man, I want to do that.
Yeah, they dialed it up for us. So yeah, we only have 2. We're going on the 3rd season in US, about to launch, I believe, May 31st or something, right at the end of the month. So we're on the cusp of some new Lego Masters US, and to fill that thirst. There's Lego Masters all over the world. I was watching like the Japan one, and you can't understand anything, but they're doing like
the build. Yeah, but the builds are like crazy. You sent me that, and I'm looking at the builds are like insane.
Yeah, a lot of mechanics, right? And
roller
coasters, and I couldn't understand anything, and it was classic, like Japanese game show. It was really fast, and the dialogue was in your face.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Moto said New Zealand has started, which is, that's the island of Australia. That's right there by Australia. And, so you get kind of, it's 2 different countries, but you kind of get like a double dose because, it's like that same geographical area, right?
Yeah, it'd be like Canada having their own Lego Masters.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that, because even like in this one here that's coming out for us, season 3, it's a lot of Canadians. A lot of Canadians. A lot. It's a lot of teams that are from Canada on the squad. And I'm very very happy to see that. But you think they let somebody in from South America in, maybe? Like close to, maybe? Mix it in a little bit, you get more people watching, I bet.
Never know.
Yeah. All right, so let's dive into it, friend. Let me see. All right, we are spoiling the first episode of season 4, right? Let me share my screen here. Share my screen. We're going right here. All right, let's do this one here, friend. Can you see me? Let's do it. Let's do this. All right. Can you see that there, friend?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, here we go. All right. So I guess not in no particular order here, but we're just gonna name some names here, and so these are the contestants on season 4, Australia. You got Caleb and Alex, right?
I call them the young team.
The young team. All right, so these are the young
21.
gunners right here. Yeah,
Yeah,
because they're young. In their 20s, you're young,
21, 25. So I wonder if
right.
they're upping the age limit, because that first season they had I forget. I'll have to look back, but they had like 18, like Jordy and
Jordy and them. They were like 18 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were pretty young, and then they had a young girl, and then I think the girl and what's his name? What's his name? Caleb. His name was Caleb, right? I can't think of it.
Let's stay on this show.
Anyway, here's my man. Cheap Jokes right here. So you see my man here, Andrew. He's listed as here, but Cheap Jokes is his handle, and he rolls with Billsy, who was also on Lego Masters, but he was on season 1. But this is my man Andrew here, and his partner Crystal. All right, that's pretty cool, man.
Shout out to Billsy and Cheap Jokes. I definitely was following all these half of these people. Like guys like this that are into the AFOL community before they made it onto the show.
Right.
But Crystal, model actress.
Crystal's an actress?
I mean, it seems like he's getting teamed up, and who knows if they went in as a team or got team. I'm thinking they got teamed up. Like he probably had another AFOL.
Right. And then they just went ahead. Yeah. Lego Masters like to do that. They want the show to be eye pleasing. You get 2 AFOLs and y'all 2 might be boring. Like, and it's the truth. Like y'all probably built something awesome together, but y'all probably just boring. Like, so they just spiced up a little bit. Yeah, she's an actress. You're right, a model and actress. Oh, that's cool. I never knew that. Well, I never really knew Crystal, but I mean that's pretty cool. All right, so now you got Paul and Trent. Paul is 50 and Trent is 45. All right, and this is our couple, one of our couples on here. That's pretty cool. All right, and we got Branko. That's the first time I heard that name, friend. You ever had a friend named Branko?
No, I had to look twice. Branko. Yeah, it sounds like something from the movies.
So there you go, right there. Max is 17.
Oh,
now,
wow.
see, I wonder. Now you mention that, I wonder if the next season of our Lego Masters would do this, like a father and son, like an adult father, and then the son is like
got his guardian with him, so it's a little safer. So this is a father and son team. I don't know that they're gonna do. They're gonna keep the T-falls out of Lego Masters, but as the seasons progress, they have to find ways to keep it fresh.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that this type of duo would work for us. Like I think so. Like as long as the parents there, the kid's there, the kid is safe that the parents there, right? Essentially. So it's just I think if you can get a 17-year-old, or even like say you went with an 18-year-old, if you went with an 18-year-old, because I don't think there were any, unless I don't think it don't look like somebody's on season 3 of our show that's 18. So
it'd have to be 18 and up, but looks like they definitely know their Lego in the comments there.
Right. Yeah. What was the comment saying? I can't see it because I'm on this screen here.
It's just he's got a brother, and they build Lego, and got an entire room filled with 500,000 bricks at home. Right. So they're builders.
Okay.
Father and son team, Branko and Max.
Okay. All right, here we got Kirsty and Daniel. Kirsty is actually Princess Peanut Butter Cup, and on Instagram, and she makes
Buttercup or peanut.
Yeah, Buttercup. Is it Buttercup? It's like Buttercup, right? Princess Buttercup or something like that. And then and she makes these little tiny intricate builds that are pretty awesome. And so you kind of know when somebody's on Lego Masters because then they go real silent. They stop posting stuff on their Instagram.
Did she have the? Yeah, she had the silent.
They get extra quiet. Like Brick and Nick got extra quiet on his social media because he was a little bit busy. he was a little bit busy.
You're like, why are you ghosting the Lego community? What's the matter?
Right, what's going on? What happened? Are you going through a dark age? Nah, that's not happening. All right, so you got some more young gunners, on this show here, Josh and Henry, and they are brothers. Now, I like this because, like you said, like you got the older brother, you got the younger brother. They're like best friends, brothers, so they never really fight and everything. And I kind of followed the backstory a little bit, where like they said like they're both into every hobby that they do. So they like music, they listen to the same music.
Yeah.
So if they play video games, which they do, they play the same video game. So that's pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, they could be contenders, I bet.
Oh yeah. We'll talk about it. Rachel and Lexi. Which one's Rachel?
Lexi's the colorful ears and.
Okay. And Rachel's the taller one. Okay. All right.
Rachel is, I think, a mom.
I was watching the show, man. Lexi got a lot of moxie, man. She had a lot of moxie and she had a lot of sass. We'll talk about it. She had a lot of moxie, a lot of sass. All right. Gene and Nick is up. Man, I think Gene and Nick was pretty quiet on the show, man. We'll talk about it, but I think I think their build was epic. But I think they were like, I think Gene and Nick is going to be one of those sleeper teams.
Yeah, I think sometimes the production of the show leads you into who's going to last longer. They're spending time on this person, they're not spending time on this person. So, and everybody gets a little bit of balance. So
right.
Maybe they're in for the long haul. Gene and Nick, 30-somethings, and yeah, there we go.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you something and this is probably why I like the Australia show, is that they're keeping 8 teams. They're not doing 10. They're not doing 12. They're not doing 14. They're keeping 8 teams because I guess these 8 teams give them kind of a quality, right? So you can hone in on each and every last team and not have to run out of time. Granted, it was an hour and a half long. That episode was an hour and a half long, but they ran through all the teams. You got to see everybody's backstory, and they were rolling right through the builds and stuff like that. You didn't see Hamish too much. You didn't see, Brickman too much. The builds and the teams, they were just on.
Yeah. Well, they have to do some setup. So the beginning of the show, I remember them talking about the shiny new floor and the new door that you can't hit your head on, because I remember so many people, like, they lift the garage door and they're like ducking under all the time.
Right.
Some safety protocols.
Oh yeah, they definitely spruced the place up a little bit. It doesn't look like a warehouse like it used to. Like it used to look like a real warehouse, man. And now they spruced the place up now. So because I remember the very first show, it looked like a garage warehouse where you would fix motorcycles or something like that, man. and now they I guess they took the Hollywood approach. All right, we're gonna give you some clean, squeaky floors. This is the teams right here. The 8 teams. And they went with the sliding doors. The doors aren't Lego doors like our Lego Masters doors, right? But they got the sliding doors, so they still have that warehouse look.
Yeah.
But it's just a little bit more fancier, more like a Tony Stark garage.
Yeah, it's looking shinier, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
And they got the secret hidden vaults to the side where those brick little closets in there. You never know what they're gonna open up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, Moto says he's seen a few episodes. He could be on.
Oh yeah. He done spoiled. He ready to spoil something, huh? He ready to spoil. Oh Moto, huh? Yeah, we got to catch up to episode 6. So one thing that they did do that was different this year was that they kind of changed the brick, man. Like the gold, right? They changed the brick, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, that kind of threw me off a little bit. It did, and I was like, man, why in the world are they doing that? Why are they changing the color of the brick? And it's just to kind of spread the brick out a little bit. So they call this what, the titanium brick of triumph.
The titanium brick. So yeah, they've had a gold brick, a platinum
Mhm.
brick. Uh, they had the Geordie brick,
Yeah,
and now they have the titanium brick.
yeah. So this brick is that this brick you can't hold on to, right? Like the golden brick, you can hold on to that until you absolutely need it. Now it's either use or lose. So like if you don't use it, it's up for grabs at the next challenge, right? And that's how they're rolling with it. So they're forcing you to be at your best, and I kind of like that. They forcing you to be at your best because, hey, look, long as I'm digging, like say, like if we had this, if we had this thing back at the US or something like that, and I had a bad challenge or something like that, and I had wanted the challenge to go before, okay, then I can go ahead and invoke it. Or like, if I'm rolling along and if our builds are strong enough and we're constantly in the top 3, I would never really need it. You really wouldn't need it. And if you're it's a kind of a balance. So it kind of like the brick kind of change hands. That, I guess, that's the purpose of it, maybe.
Yeah, I still need to see it. So I'm still kind of lost on how you have to use it,
Hmm.
because all I know is there's 3 weeks before they even have an elimination. So they're giving out they must be giving out more than one.
Okay. Okay.
So
Well, technically, I want to spoil it for the spoiler, but they kind of hold on to that brick. They don't give out more than one. So what happens is like at the end of challenge 2, they kind of take it away from the first winner, right? And what happens is that they give it to the winner of challenge 2. That's the best way not to spoil it. So they
okay.
took it away from the winner of challenge 1 at the end of challenge 2. They took it away from challenge
I don't
1,
like that.
and then
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't like
So
it.
so
You
the brick
didn't
was
even have a chance
constantly,
to use it.
no, no,
Yeah,
no.
that's not fair.
Well, technically, they didn't have to. So you watch 2, and then you'll see what I'm saying.
So it's like a fake win.
Yeah,
Like, don't
yeah.
even give it. If I don't know, it's I don't know. They're trying to keep us on our toes and some drama, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right. So the first challenge is drain the ocean. Drain the ocean, man. You know what? I like this. I like this because water. If you put your Lego in the water, it kind of acts like a magnifying glass. You see it in a different perspective, right?
Yeah,
And so they make their builds, and the object is to put your build in this immersed into water, right? And they've done this before. They've done it, but not to this magnitude. I think they did it in a tank, right? It was like a little fishing tank or something.
they had 4 tanks on one of the season, and you just saw it
Hmm.
from the front. You saw it through the tank. They
Right.
lowered stuff into water. This time they're lowering the water around their
Hmm.
their mock.
uh Yeah, I'm definitely digging this here episode. This is a kind of a bold challenge, man. This is like what I would fear. What I would fear is that I would build something, and then they fill the water up, and pieces of the build would float into the water up, away from your build, totally,
Yeah,
like, and then when they drain it, like, it kind of wash the whole thing. That's what I would fear.
yeah, yeah. I wonder how fast I don't know. Looks like everybody built to survive the water, though. Only one person did it like a mechanic. Um, that acted with the water.
All right, let's look at some of these builds, man. So they're building, and I'll talk about it here. So we'll talk about some of these builds here real quick, and then I'll get your take on it. Let me share my screen real quick. All right, this here is Paul and Trent, and Paul and Trent did the art wreckage, right?
Yeah.
And with the Van Gogh and the Mandarin paintings. All right. What do you think, man?
I agree with Brickman when this aired and he asked him what their idea was. Fascinating, and like the storytelling and the way it relates the art and the fish with the camouflage. Brilliant idea. The idea is just exactly what you need as far as the storytelling act. You know, it's underwater, and the fish are adapting to these art pieces. So you got the fish, like the lionfish kind of thing with all the spiky kind of fins.
Yeah.
Looking, red and blue and yellow. That right there is just an amazing idea.
Yeah. A lot of colors, like you said, a lot of colors, and like you said, you have to make the habitat flow with the people that actually live in that habitat. So you got these colorful art, paintings of art and stuff like that. And man, look, shout out to that Vincent Van Gogh, man. Like he got that mosaic right there, that Vincent Van Gogh. I mean, that is superb, man. I think that, man. And then you got the blowfish right there on the side there, the Vincent Van Gogh, and then the colorful, that spiky fish right there with all the colors right there, the red, blue, and yellow right there, and then you got the coral, and it was so elaborate, right? It was so like extravagant. It was so elaborate, it was so extravagant that Brickman was like, look, from the paintings to the creatures that you got on the floor, you really didn't have to put all the coral. The coral takes away from what you got going on.
Yeah, or the color anyway. I would don't use the same colors on the fish and then the coral. So the red and the red, and then the blue and the blue. I don't know about that, but
you got to break up the colors a little bit. Yeah, I understand.
But you're a team, right? So you're probably one person is doing the coral and the other person is building the fish. Or one person is doing the art and one person is doing the fish. I'm not sure who did what out of Trent and Paul, but that idea, and they executed right. Yeah, like you said, that the work of art nailed it.
Yeah. So next up we have Kirsty and Daniel. And Kirsty and Daniel created the underwater alien world. That's right. And let's get this up here. Hold on. So the thing I like about this one here, right? Now, if you're a math guy or something like that, of course, like, if you're a math guy, or a science guy, not math, but yeah, math, a little science, about the periodic table. And that's why that TI 22, that's the number for titanium. And I only knew that because she said it. So,
right.
And other than that, they would have lost me on that one. But the thing I liked about it is that this one had moving parts, like implied moving parts. So when the water when the water was filled all the way up, the pods on the side were all the way up. And as the water came down, the pods came down, with the water. And that was a good, that was like a good, move to do. That way you kind of set yourself apart from the pack a little bit.
That's bonus points. That's called bonus points.
Yeah. What you think?
If you have any kind of lights or motion and they're not asking for it, that's bonus points. So they had motion that reacted with the water going down, and other than that, it didn't look too special. But
Mhm.
you know, at minifig scale,
Mhm.
underwater, um, when they don't tell you to do minifig scale,
Mhm.
it's probably time to think, don't do minifig scale. So if they had a contraption, like if that was I don't know, maybe something larger and underwater, or uh, maybe it could still been a spaceship, but not a colony.
Mhm.
But it's but they did really good. If you did look at the minifigs, if you could get a couple of good shots, they were weird little teapot head aliens, and so there was
Mhm.
some story going on. I just think it was kind of lost. Like, this is the
Yeah.
angle. You know, when they were in the show, Hamish was joking and like, "Hey, you're gonna see it from this angle. Are you sure you want the face pointed this way, or whatever?" So
Right.
I think as far as the idea, the larger the art one, life size pieces, sculpting was a way to go, better way to
Yeah.
go for this challenge.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I think that's just it. It's like I think that this challenge really taught you about, I guess, how to do perspective. I want to say it really put a lot of stuff into perspective. Like you said, you had to build so that you just knew, you know, you knew that you were going to get the most out of the view, right?
Yeah,
Because you're looking down, and whatever you got going on here, like you can have a scene going on. If it's eye level, if that scene is eye level, you'll
yeah,
never see that because you're looking down on top of it.
right.
And so yeah, so you would have to like kind of adjust your build so that you could see like the belly of a fish or like the face of a fish.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's a little bit tricky. That's what I was like. This challenge was a little bit like up top because you
yeah.
really like for
You
the
have
first
so many
challenge
things to
that
think
thing was
about.
like that was pretty high, man.
You have so many things to think about. You have the water, like just technique to survive the water.
Uh
And then
huh.
you have perspective from looking down, and then perspective of being underwater, and it's just, I don't know, it's
Right.
crazy.
So next up, we got Branko and Max, and they did Poseidon statue. Does everybody in Australia love Poseidon? What is with the fantasy of Poseidon and the folks from Australia? There's a fantasy, there's a love fantasy with Poseidon. So, and I'm gonna find out what it is. But for whatever reason, like the folks down under love this dude. They
Well,
love this dude. I mean,
we have a
and
Canadian friend that had a pretty good Neptune kind of guy or whatever.
Mhm,
Hetherington, Paul
mhm.
Hetherington. He did
Yeah.
like a underwater trident thing.
Mhm.
This is the father and son team, right?
Yeah, this the father and son team. What you think, man?
I didn't think they were gonna. I didn't think they were gonna get the sculpting right. They were self-admitting that they don't do characters. They
Right, right.
But like I just said, like, this is the chance to do non-minifig scale. So you should they figured it out. You should sculpt something because it's going to be underwater and looked at from above.
Mhm,
And they figured theirs looked the best in the water and when the water went down.
mhm.
So they actually I think click a lot of boxes for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I guess after seeing the first Poseidon on the first show and like Henry and Kate, they 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 made that killer Poseidon jumping out the water, killing that sea serpent man, and that is a tall order. I would have stayed away from that guy because I seen that first show and it's like, yeah, that's kind of hard to step in the ring and try to like either repeat or try to do something else, right? And this model here was kind of tricky for them, right? As the sun was building up, the father was kind of trying to get it in the right position, and it was breaking apart, breaking away.
Kept falling.
And he even said, like, he was like, I'm trying to put stuff together, and I hear, oh no. And
Right.
dad is over there breaking it up, man. Like, and here's the thing. This is what got me with this team, is that they made a face, and it was like very below subpar, right? It was very below, right? And Brickman came over and said something to him. Say, hey, look, maybe you want to work on the sculpting the face a little bit. Try to do what works. Right now I'm not really seeing it. And so they put more time in sculpting Poseidon's face, and you end up getting this right here. So kudos to them for building on the fly. Let me tell you, me and Jermaine built on the fly every episode, man. We had nothing in our wheelhouse. We had nothing in the bank where that we knew we can go build some, elaborate, some elaborate castle or something, some extravagant castle or something major or something like that. We had nothing like that. So everything we built on the fly. So, I can respect that, like building on the fly, man. I could definitely respect that, because you get to that point, and it's like, man, like, like, what do I do? What do we do?
And building as a team, like, I think a lot of us are thinking, I could be on that show. And then you get paired up or go in with a friend or father and son, family. And, usually, even if you build in the same room, you're not really building like the same statue together. So it's going to be a challenge. They're throwing a lot of challenges at you.
Oh yeah. So next up we have let's see. This is the Wild Wild Wet underwater western scene with Gene and Nick. So this is that team I told you that was quiet, right? and so right now I like how they sculpt the seahorses, right? And you got you got the cowboy riding the seahorse and stuff like that. That's something that you don't see. That's a nice little mashup and everything like that. And like, if you look around the builders, right, and what's being built on the table, I think this is way in the back for me.
Yeah, maybe. They have a good idea though. Let's combine seahorses with Western and have minifigs riding seahorses or wrangling seahorses.
Right.
And they match the brown that you're given that brown, and they built up with the brown, like mesa or whatever. It's pretty good. And the coral looks really well too. Yeah, I didn't look at this one. They didn't spend a lot of time on these guys. So
no, they didn't. That's what I said. I'm thinking that this is one of the sleeper teams right now. I think they get stronger. I can tell you they get a little bit stronger as the season goes on. And I think this is definitely one of those sleeper teams, man. This is probably one of those teams that'll knock one of our top teams, who we think is the top team, off. I mean, I just and they really didn't get into them too much. You didn't, like you said, you didn't see them like you thought you would see them.
Yeah, again with the perspective, they had the horse facing down, and otherwise they were the character built the horses really well, so I think they could. That, I don't know. That was I think that's a sleeper team. That those guys are going to do pretty well.
Next up, we got Caleb and Alex with the giant sea worm attack. Man, I think for this challenge, Jesse, I think this is it. Like, you got the sea worm that's facing upward. So if I'm looking down, I can look down into the mouth of the sea worm. I would like the sea worm be gobbling something, right? Like, so if they put something in the mouth, like it's getting ready to go down. Yeah. I would dig that. I like that they did do they got the scuba divers out there that are like the brick built guys there. I'm digging that.
Yeah, I think they worked well as a team. I'm not sure if I know the guy must be Caleb, so he was struggling to keep that worm balancing. So he might be challenging himself quite a bit with this, but it's a great idea. Again, I think as far as perspective, he nailed it with the worm. You know, the water came down, you could see that thing like an alien bursting through a chest.
Right, right. Yeah, I definitely like that. Like you said, just for perspective, you know, it just put a little bit of something inside that mouth, man, and that would have definitely been awesome. All right, so next up we have Andrew and Crystal, and Andrew and Crystal made the let's see here, the Amelia Earhart wreckage. Now, my friends down in Australia have a six sense of humor. They do. They have a sixth sense of humor, right? Whereas they said this is Amelia Earhart's wreckage in her femur bone, right
It's
there.
a
So
remains. Yeah, like
it's her remains, and and this is a bad picture, but if you look on the far side of that of the wing there, it's Amelia Earhart's boot
yeah.
right there next to the femur bone.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
The boot and the
it's
leg.
it's a sick, you know, funny way of laughing, right? You know, because ultimately this wreckage happened, you know, what, almost what, like 70 years ago, something like that, 80 years ago. How long ago was
Oh
that?
yeah, a while ago. Yeah,
Yeah,
the first woman
close to,
flight
yeah,
around the world. So
yeah,
something
probably
like
close
that.
to 100 years ago. And so, you know, a little bit Americans will probably be a little bit upset about it, but you know, our fan base would be a little bit upset. You know, they would be a little bit upset about it. But I think that I love that they got the propeller there, man. The technique that they did with the propeller is like great.
Yeah, it's kind of rusty
Hmm.
underwater and faded colors. The way they did the tones of red, even. Um, they could have used a little more, I think, on the bed, but I think they're trying not to distract from, you know, with too much, I guess, with plant life. Trying to stand out. Um, their technique on the blade, where it's kind of, you know, it's got that rounded, twisted look.
Hmm.
It's pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's why I definitely like that, you know, using that twisted blade a little bit. Yeah, he said.
Yeah.
Brickman said, "I'm glad there's no crabs around the wreckage." I bet you that there probably was, and they probably ate pretty good.
What's up, Rick Man? Okay.
They probably ate pretty
Johnny
good.
G. Yeah, we're watching Aussie TV a little bit.
A little bit of Aussie tea.
um, they did a non-minifig scale again, so I think that
Hmm.
you gotta almost have to like make that decision right away. What are we gonna do? Are we gonna do minifig scale
Right,
or something larger than, you know, characters, or even life, like 1-to-1 scale? And
right.
that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So this one I like, Jesse, and this is why, you know, the build is awesome, right? Yeah, but in the 4 years, right, in the 4 seasons of Australia Lego Masters, right, the mermaid was a curse, right?
Yeah.
Mermaid always been a curse, and the person that made the mermaid was the person. It was the team that got voted out that day,
Yeah.
right? Um, and so you have a young cocky builder like Lexi, right?
Lexi and
And
Rachel did this one.
Lexi and
So
Rachel, right? Like this is Lexi and Rachel, and Lexi is going head to head with the Brickman, right? And he's just giving them advice like, "Hey, look, you know, I don't know if you want to do, mermaid. This person got voted off doing the mermaid. That person got voted off, and this person. So I think you want to stay away." And they said that she said Lexi said she was the boss of characters, right? The boss. So she was boss like, right? And
yeah.
so, Brickman like, all right. So then Brickman comes back to check in, and he's like, all right, you got any questions? And Lexi is in her feelings with the Brickman, right? She no, she's like basically, no, you can't advise me or nothing. You can't give me no advice. I don't want no compliments. I don't want nothing from you.
you're reading into her, but yeah, her ego really does show on the show off. Man, I think as many episodes of I've seen of anybody with any judge,
Mm-hmm.
any comment you can get from they're gonna judge you like that,
Right.
like straight up, like almost like cheating, being able to talk to the judge.
Yeah.
I think when he asks you if you have any questions or comments, he's trying to help.
Yeah. She don't want none of that, man.
I wonder what he would have said.
He probably would have said this, because he did go back and say, "Hey, look, this is great. The curse has been lifted. The mermaid curse has been lifted. However, you got the young girl, the kid mermaid. She looked like she's out of it. Like, she's laid back. She's not engaged, like, towards the castle. If she's building a castle, she should need to sit straight and like right up a little bit. But here's the thing with that: when he said that, is that if you're building to see up top, and if that mermaid is in position where, if she was sitting like a little bit forward towards the castle instead of like in this laid back position, you probably wouldn't see her from up above. I'm guessing, right?
That's true. Yeah, I think the eyes and the expressions are a little off.
Mm-hmm.
There's some good character work in the lips, but the eyes, I don't know, the younger one especially, it's just kind of awkward.
Right.
And yeah, it would have been probably good to have that one actually. I mean, they're half fish, so maybe they should be swimming, not
Yeah.
sitting down.
Yeah. Right. True.
Uh,
True. Yeah. Yeah.
hmm.
Lexi, you are boss. You're right. You're a character boss. I'm digging these mermaids. I love that treasure chest right to the right there. I love that. And you got I mean, the layout's awesome. I'm digging this one here.
Good job.
Oh yeah,
Week
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Do we got another one?
Yeah, we got one more. We got one more, brother. We got one more. We got one more. One more. Oh, this was the big one. How could you forget this one?
I know. Okay, yeah.
How could you forget that? They probably purposely saved this one for last. And I'm going in the order like they did. So
okay.
All right. So this one here is Josh and Henry. This is the young brothers, right? And
Okay.
they made the Deep Terror Sea Serpent. All right, and here's where that the judges are really trying to bring the best out in you, right? This thing was awesome. This thing is awesome, hands down. This thing is awesome. The technique on this thing, of course they had this in their wheelhouse, like he said. They had this in their encyclopedia builds, no doubt, right? And you could tell that they studied this thing and mapped it out, and they had to make the adjustment to its head so that you can see it, the expression of the fish, from up above, because you're looking straight down.
Yeah.
And so, right then and there, they adjusted the bed, they adjusted the build and changed the head. And so and that's cool a cool tip that Hamish and the brick man said, "Hey, look, if I'm looking down, I need to see something. This looked great, but I need to see it."
Yeah. I think they could have angled it even more. It would have been a really big risk, but they're standing out as the front runners with that technique. I mean, any dragon, sea serpent, whatever, with that kind of flex and the body just is crazy with the fins. It's
Right.
solid too. It's like not gonna fall apart. They got some skills.
I'm loving this curvature here, right? Because you could easily, if you make something a serpent, something like that, you would think it would be, most people would probably cop out and do a straight one, right? Like a straight body one, right? But this one here, you got the curvature. It curves here, right? You get a little curvature here, right here by the neck, and then you get the tail that's curving out, and they curve some more. Like it, I love it. You get several different curves in the sea serpent, So man, this they on another level. You see what I'm saying? Why I like this show so much?
Yeah. Halfway or less than halfway. What did they get? They had 16 hours.
16 hours, yeah, which is that's some time. That is, you could do something great in 16 hours. You can you definitely could.
So O'Connor's here. What's happening?
Sigh.
Flex tubes and that flex model. The
flexing.
serpent. The flex.
Yeah, they in there flexing side. They in there flexing.
Get the flex tape
flexing
out.
With the flex tubes.
Those guys are contenders.
Bro. Yeah, that's the way to go. So if you're looking down at it, this is what we were talking about. If you're looking down at it, this is what you would see. So you're kind of trying to, and if you look at the mermaid ones, now we're looking down at it, you can see that the child mermaid, like you can see her face looking down, but looking straight ahead, she looks a little, it's like that's kind of out of position a little bit.
Yeah, there was some thought put into this for sure.
Yeah,
I think the centerpiece too is like your sample. Like, here's this shipwreck.
Right.
So now it's your turn. So you should build something larger than minifig scale. Again, I think when they force you to build a minifig scale sometimes. That's the way to go, and everybody has a lot of experience with that, but not too many people have experience building characters and statues and sculptures and one-to-one scale stuff.
So they did something different this time, Jesse. They usually you get the top 2 and the bottom 2, and so you got 8 teams. They're probably going to give us like 10 to 12 episodes, right? And I'm going to spoil it for the spoiler. They go into probably about episode 4 without an elimination. They get to episode 4 and then you have your first elimination, right?
Right.
And they're telling you that eliminations could happen. They could do a double eliminations. They could do anything, right? Because anything can happen. Anything goes.
You got to get down to 3. So
right, they're not going to tell you. So this time, instead of having a bottom 2 or bottom or top 2, they did 3, top 3, which is good because you know why, Jesse? This is the first show. Everybody's nervous. They're on pins and needles because you're trying to impress the judge, which is Brickman, right? So to ease the tension, even if I didn't win, Jesse, if just knowing that I was in the top 3, I'm fine. Like if they announced the top 2, you really wouldn't know. You would speculate who the third was, but you really wouldn't know. You really wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And for him to say, "Hey, look, we're going to do 3," and these are the 3 that came forth was the Josh and Harry, which was the Sea Serpent, of course. Then it was Paul and Trent, and they did the art wreckage, and then you had the father and son team. What's his name? Branko and Max, which was the Poseidon. Poseidon. So you got the Poseidon, you got the Sea Serpent, and then you got the art wreckage that were the top 3.
All 3 of them had something like large in there, and I don't know. Everyone did pretty good, but I let's see. I think I agree with this as top 3. Yeah. It's nice to get recognized as a runner-up. Right. Even.
So my question, we know who won, right? We know who won. It was the brothers, Josh and Henry. They won with the Sea Serpent. Who would you pick? You're Brickman. Who would you pick?
So I think if I was a judge, I would do it like Brickman, and I think he has checkmark boxes. Did you do something with technique? Did you tell a story? Did you make something aesthetically pleasing or easy to see, from that perspective was like another part of that checkbox. And the Trent and Paul team with the art, they nailed the story. I think that Fish and Camouflage with the art, they get the highest mark in storytelling, I think, for me.
Yeah.
The Sea Serpent technique, just way above on everyone's level, and then the father-son team with Poseidon, nothing like extremely, over the top like the other two, but they hit all the boxes, right?
Right.
So I want to say I might have gave it to the father-son team, because who knows how long they're gonna last.
Right.
The Sea Serpent Bros with that technique, they're
Yeah, they're
gonna
gonna be around. They're gonna be
they're gonna
around.
be
They're
around.
gonna be around. Yeah, yeah,
And everybody checked the boxes, and the other teams had less balance. It's like
yeah.
Moon Knight. I'm going back to the
Yeah,
scales
the
are
scales.
doing this.
Oh, man, I'm so
Story,
mad. I love
technique,
that episode today,
story,
but I'm
technique,
mad too. I'm like, oh.
story, technique, and they had everything. Like they had a story,
Mhm.
the statue, they had technique, they had to
Right.
learn on the fly, like they said.
Mhm.
And it looked great, especially when they had the light behind it. They lucked out with, like, before the water even came down, it looked
Yeah.
like some menacing thing was under the water. So I
Right.
think I give it to them, because they checked all the boxes, and who knows if they're gonna keep shining.
Yeah.
But that's the game.
It's a game. Man. You got to keep surviving around. I do. It's ups and downs here. I think I like how they're doing the advantage brick, like winning the titanium. It's up for grabs every round. I dig that, because then like you said, you had that strong team that'll hold on to it for the whole entire season, and you'll never see that brick again. So it's just like it plays around, because like I said, me and you, we're on the team. Today we win that thing. Tomorrow we might have a bad day, and we need it.
Yeah.
And it helps us because it ain't in somebody else's pocket. So
I don't think I would be shy about the gold brick, and maybe skip one because you're fresh.
Mhm.
But as soon as like 2 days or 2 weeks or a few episodes in, man, you want a day off.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You want to and it gets nerve wracking, because it's like, man, like you get to a point where you be like, damn, I'm fresh out of ideas, man. What we doing? I don't know. Like, come up with something. Give me a squid or something. Give me a
Take a
squid.
day
Everybody
off.
wants
That's what
squids.
I noticed about, like, the difference with the platinum brick or whatever it was, is
Mhm,
you could just use it, or even without the brick, if you get immunity, you get the immunity challenge.
mhm.
You win, like, say the brothers, um Joss and Henry win immunity this one.
Right.
And basically, like last season, they didn't even have to build the next week.
Yeah.
They don't even have to build for the elimination round,
Yeah.
because they have immunity. So it seems
Yeah.
like this new brick, this titanium brick, is taking away that,
Yeah.
where everyone's gonna build every challenge. You don't get a
Right.
day.
You don't get a day off. You're on the grind. So ain't no coasting. Ain't no coasting at all. Yeah.
And that's a big bonus, I think, when you get it. It's like an unspoken thing. Like,
Hmm.
if you realize, I don't know how many days, 16 hours goes into filming, but that's like a big break. 3 days, 3 days. Yeah, it's not one 16-hour day like it looks with the same T-shirt on.
Uh-huh.
But
Yep. Yep.
could you imagine? Like, that's what they were doing last year. I was watching, the other
Uh-huh.
seasons, and you would win immunity, and then they would send them, back to the hotel for a 3-day vacation.
A 3-day vacation fee, which is good, because then you think, all right, you're back at the hotel. All right, what's the next challenge? So you could kind of get your thoughts together, and what you're trying to build with next, some ideas, like,
Yeah,
theory ideas,
theory.
You can go in there with a theory, and they say, oh, we're doing, spaceship and aliens, and you had your mind fixed that you was building a building or a vehicle, and then you got to switch up.
Yeah.
So the next episode, challenge 2, is called Stuntman. They're making vehicles, and they're launching them over 9 Lego buses,
Yeah.
which I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Couldn't even
Yep.
stuntman jump. Looks fun. So you got strength and technique on launching a model, and you have a slow-mo shot on how it gets destroyed when it hits the floor, it looks like.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. It's almost like the explosion one, plus it has to survive the launch. I don't know.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think that should be like a half a challenge. I think like how we did the race box derby.
Yeah.
I think that one should just be a half a challenge because you're just building the vehicle and then you go right into the next challenge. That's probably going to take them a little bit to do. But yeah, we'll be back here spoiling episode 2. So stay tuned. Shout out to my people down in Australia. Keep building like you're building. But Fox LEGO Masters comes on May 31st. So watch out.
Yes.
We're on the way.
Yeah, we should spoil that show for sure. I don't know if we can.
Yeah, we're gonna spoil it.
More people will be tuning in.
We spoiling it. We're gonna spoil it fresh.